G'day guys, welcome back to Cakes by Chopper. Today we have the Holden logo with a HSV badge, and this goes out to Woody and Miss Crit because they're huge Holden lovers, and I couldn't do this cake without showing a photo of Woody's car that I took last year. Okay, what you're going to do is head over to the Cakes by Chopper Facebook page, print off the logo, and then cut it out, making two cakes slightly smaller than the logo itself, allowing room for the buttercream and fondant. Then you're going to fill those cakes and stack them on top. I got it to go up pretty high. This is a double mixture in each cake, so I wanted it quite high because I'm going to cut it down on an angle. Once you've given the buttercream coat to the outside, pop it into the freezer so it's nice and firm and it won't shift when you're cutting. Then you're going to angle it down about a third of the way down from the top. Then you're going to flip that over, fill it with buttercream, place it back on top with the smallest angle on the bottom side. So you're going to create this nice angle which gives you a high back and a low front. This helps display your logo from a front on position and you don't have to stand over the top of a bird's eye view. Once you're done with that, give it a full crumb coat over the top, pop it in the fridge and clean up the edges so you've got nice straight lines, and cover with the fondant colour of your choice. I've went with a red because the Holden logo is red, basically red, black and silver, but I've used a red, black and white as you'll see. Trim off the excess, then you can use that to smooth out and sort of buffer over the fondant. Making sure it's nice and clean around the bottom, you're going to grab some black fondant and roll that out. Using this fondant cutter, I cut a nice long trim to put around the bottom. It's okay to do this right now because you're basically finished with this side of the cake. Cut it at the ends and join it with a little bit of water. Then you can use a dry brush to remove any of the corn flour or cornstarch that's left on the surrounding cake. Placing the logo under some baking paper or parchment paper, you're going to cut out a white circle of fondant. Because of the nature of the logo, you're going to need this quite thick at about 4 to 5 centimeters. You don't want to go any less or any more. Then use the template to just cut out the black parts and then remove them using something very sharp and a brush to smooth out the edges and clean up your work, because the fondant's quite soft at this point and you want to keep the lines nice and straight. Remove all the background from the logo and cut that out of the fondant, which will leave your lion and finish your logo. Then make sure you clean up all around the edges and check for any little pieces that might be unsightly. Place it on a board, pop that into the freezer, then you can start on the HSV badge. I used the same principle of just rolling out the fondant and then cutting away what I didn't need. I did the letters first to keep them nice and straight, and then used a cup to cut out the circle and just place them together on the cake as I decorate. I often get a lot of questions about the brushes I use to paint the food dye on with. I've just recently switched to some plastic handled brushes that I got from the craft store. As much as I love my old brushes, these new plastic handled ones are a lot cleaner and I think a lot more suitable for food and painting on the cakes. Using a food colouring marker, I drew out the logo and then painted it in with the gel food dye, which is the consistency of 2 parts liquid, 1 part gel. And no, it's not paint, but it does paint on perfectly. Add the letters, and you've got to do this before the fondant sets. I know that's a bit of a pain, but that way it'll mould to the shape of the cake. And then you can go in and highlight all around the letters and then line off the sides of them, making them really pop off the cake. Once you've finished that, you're going to take out your Holden logo, give it some shadowing. I turned one of my lights off to get a natural shadow look and just filled in wherever the light didn't touch. Then I placed it on top of the cake, give it a last minute cleanup, and there you go. I would love to know what you guys think of this design. Let me know in the comments below, and if you've got any Holden fans, why not share it with them, and why not make this for them? I would also love it if you guys went and checked out these awesome Australian YouTube channels. There is Chris, who's Scrap-A-Lap, on the left. In the middle at the top is The Sweet Life of Abby. In the middle at the bottom is Ernest Videos. And on the right we have Nerd Burger. So please check them out, tell them Chopper sent you, and show them some love. Thanks guys.